Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Hi guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name is Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Loved Knits, and today I would really love to chat a little bit about my knitting essentials. Now this is a video that I've done approximately 2 years ago, so it's been a while since we've talked about this subject, but even then that video was more focused on what you need to knit your own sweaters now, the knitting essentials, the very minimalist things you should invest in, and other things you could kind of get away with not having to make your own clothes. In this video, first of all, I want to revisit that list and see how it's changed, but specifically here, I want to talk about some brands or items that I've really loved and share links to those in case you're interested. Before I get into this list, I do want to point out that there are things left out, notions that are essentials, like scissors, a darning needle, measuring tape, stitch markers, mainly because I don't have ones that I absolutely love over another. I just use whatever I have on hand, so yeah. I'm leaving those out. They are essential though, just so that we're on the same page. Starting with the extremely obvious and obviously the #1 most essential item for knitting is knitting needles. For me, like many others, interchangeable needles are absolutely essential because I like having all of the different sizes that I need for any given project at hand. And for the longest time, I've been a Lucca needle fan. I've talked about it so often. Whenever anybody asks me what kind of interchangeable needles I love, what they should invest their money in, I always say the Lucca, especially the Driftwood set, because that one's my favorite. They are beautiful, but I really loved them because they gave me so much control over my knitting, the stitches that I had. And it really helped me like hone my tension and make sure that my stitches were all nice and even. I just felt a lot of control when I used these needles. And I still really love that, and that's still really important to me. However, if you've been around for a while, you might know that I've invested in a new interchangeable set, which I've noticed has become my most preferred, the one that I grab for the most, and those are my See Knits. And it's SEE Knits, in case you're curious. Those are really popular. I had been hearing about them, so I wanted to give them a try. They are also wooden needles, but they are bamboo. And I actually hated bamboo needles for the longest time because they didn't provide that control that I love so much about the Driftwood set that I had. Bamboo needles for me always just seemed to be so slippery, and I just didn't feel like I had the same control over my tension. Until I tried the See Knits, I was a little skeptical, but since everyone was having rave reviews about them, I thought it was safe to give them a try. And I find that these are the nicest bamboo needles. They have the lightweight quality that everyone loves about bamboo, but they also have this grippiness quality to them. All of that aside, what I actually enjoy the most about my See Knits is the size. These are 4-inch tips instead of 5 inches, which is what I have with the Lucca set. I find these to be very ergonomic. They fit so much nicer in my hands, and they allow me to knit for a lot longer without having any wrist pain, which I love. A knitting journal is now on my essentials because I need one. My mom brain needs one. I need to keep track of my knits and my projects. So I was kindly sent this lovely book by Making Treasures, Sophia of Making Treasures. She recently launched this book this year in the summertime, late summer even. And when I saw her teasing this product, I was in love. She reached out to me, she sent one over, and I'm so glad she did. I feel honored that she did because this is truly a really lovely product. It has everything that you could need. If you're somebody who loves the idea of bullet journaling, but you cannot get around to actually setting up your bullet journal, and you're overwhelmed by the idea of like, what do I do? This is for you. It has a bullet journal vibe, but the layouts are already made out for you, so you don't have to spend time doing that, which is a huge plus for me. But then there's also a lot of room for you to customize as you want. There's blank pages, so if you like that side of things, you can definitely still do that, which I think is awesome. So it plays for both. There's so many different things that you can keep track of. You can get really detailed. You have a yearly overview. You can go more monthly, and then you can talk about your specific projects. You can track things like the needles that you have, what you have in your yarn stash, and then there's a lot of nice resources at the back of the book talking about knitting and crochet abbreviations and even conversions for needles and for hooks, which I think is gonna be really great for me because I'm always Googling that sort of thing. So it's gonna be nice to have everything in one place. This is gonna be a really crucial book for me as I continue to fill it up. I couldn't think of a better gift for a crafting friend this holiday season. So if you have somebody, not just a knitter, but a crocheter who wants to keep track of their projects, definitely keep this in mind for them. I think they would really love that. So thank you so much, Sophia. I'm so happy with this journal. You guys know that I love Squarespace. They are the #1 sponsor of this channel. I am so appreciative of that. Squarespace is my favorite platform for building a website, building an online presence. You can create a space that really reflects your personality and what you want to showcase with the world, but then you can also up your services. You can create newsletters, have memberships, and many other things that cater to your specific needs for whatever you need your website to do. So definitely check out Squarespace. I would really encourage you. I personally love it. You guys know that, and I think you will too. So check out the link in the description and get started to play around and see how you want to make your own website. And then when you're ready to launch, you can use the discount in the description to get 10% off your first website or domain. Lanolin soap is a new essential for me. In the past, I would have gone for any kind of detergent as long as it was maybe eco, a little gentle. But considering that I knit with a lot of wool fiber, lanolin soap just makes sense. And on top of that, it is safe for babies. So I definitely really love that as a mom. I don't think brand really matters all that much here. I don't. So I will just tell you that I really like the one that Petite Knit offers in her shop, but I will be honest, I haven't really tried all there is out there. I think I've tried Soak. I had a sample for that, but I have purchased the one from Petite Knit multiple times and it goes a really long way, so I will point you in that direction, but I really don't think you can go wrong as far as brands go. But if I'm wrong about that, definitely let me know in the comments if there's any brands for lanolin soap that we should stay away from. And staying on the washing blocking topic, I have a new purchase that wasn't really all that much of an investment and has just made me so happy. The weirdest things. It is a collapsible wash tub. So great for hand washing and blocking your knits. Why I really love it is that I don't have to monopolize the bathtub anymore. I used to bulk wash all of my sweaters, and that's a problem for multiple reasons. One, I would just take over the bathtub for a couple of hours in the day and sometimes forget about my sweaters. So that was a little inconsiderate of me. But then on top of that, you know, bulk washing things can lead to color transfer and just some things that you don't want to have on your handmade sweaters that you spend a lot of time on. So this is a small little bucket that I can just collapse and put it away, but I can keep everything separate from the tub so people can go about their business while I'm washing my knits, which is really nice. But it's so much better this way because, again, I'm more considerate and I don't have to worry about scrubbing my tub afterwards in case of any like dye residue for Arthur in the bathtub, which is a win for me. Also, I want to let it be known that I am now a supporter of blocking mats. I do find their value and I would not call them essential for me, but I have used them a lot in the last 2 years. So I just want to let it be known that I think blocking mats are important for knitting. A yarn winder and Swift has become an essential for me. It was not so much an essential, let's say like 2 years ago in the past, because I was buying a lot of commercial yarn that come already pre-wound in skeins. But recently, every time that I invest in some yarn for myself, I find that they are like twisted up in hanks. So if I didn't have a yarn winder and Swift, I would be extremely frustrated. I can tell you that. So it's really nice that I purchased one so long ago, even though I didn't necessarily need it all the time. From the start, I went with something that was pretty substantial, a nice wooden one from Knit Pro. I highly recommend that one because I've had it for years now and it has done me great service. It wasn't something that I've used all so heavily, but I think investing that money, the price tag is a little bit higher than your normal, like plastic, obviously, yarn winder, and then maybe the aluminum Swift or whatever that material it's made out of. Those are definitely a lot cheaper, but I feel like I've heard knitters having to buy multiple of those, and I'm really happy that I really only needed to invest once, and for years now it has been doing really, really great. So I will leave that linked in the description. I really recommend the Knit Pro Winder and Swift. Project bags for me don't need to be all that fancy. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really have a real true knitter's project bag for the longest time. I used to use drawstring bags from other purchases like shoes. If you've ever had shoes or a handbag come in a drawstring bag, those are the things that I used to use for my projects. It wasn't until I got the Saturn XL project bag from Mood Living that really changed the game for me, and it opened my eyes to what a project bag could really be. Something that's very dedicated to knitting. At the same time, that is its downfall. The fact that it is so large makes it not really my go-to for on-the-go knitting. If I want to take a project out, I will not be taking it in that bag. It's just not portable. It's not practical. I definitely prefer something a little bit more flexible. My go-to bag really is the one that I made myself over the summer. It's a DIY quilted drawstring bag. It has been really great. It's still really large, holds lots of projects, which is awesome, but it is more flexible just because it's not that hard leather. It's really nice. So those are the two bags that I have. I'm really low maintenance when it comes to project bags. I know that there are some knitters that are very into project bags and they will have a whole collection of them, and I think that's great. I have had my eye on other bags though from different brands or independent sellers, so I'm going to leave a list linked below in case you're curious for something else. Okay, and finally, a quick word on some things that are not on my list anymore. Just two things, and that is collagen and a wrist brace, two things that I cited as absolutely important for combating wrist pain, because that's something that I really dealt with 2 years ago. But let me let you in on a little secret, something I have discovered about wrist pain and knitting. To not have it, you just need to stop knitting. That was a really hard thing for me to come to terms with. But since my life has gotten so busy, I have just learned that lesson organically, which is really nice. So since I don't have much time for my projects anymore, I just noticed that I don't have wrist pain anymore. I just wanted to point out that I don't think there's any magical thing that's going to help you continue to knit if you spend all of your waking hours knitting. So practicing a little bit of a healthy balance between knitting and maybe some other hobbies that you have, just hoping that this little reminder, something that I've learned, might be nice for you to hear, maybe a little reminder to take it easy. I know, especially now, this is a really big time to knit. Stressful time to knit in case you're gift knitting, so just take care of yourself, give yourself some breaks. It will be so much nicer in the long run. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me about my knitting essentials. I would also love to hear yours because I have discovered that knitting essentials is a very personal thing. Some knitters are more minimalist, some are more maximalist when it comes to making, so definitely let me know what you couldn't live without in the comments. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. That really helps me out. Maybe subscribe if you want to stick around, and I'll see you in the next one.